Yes, hello, and welcome to another video here from the Metal and Steel Construction Department at KÖCO. Today's topic, actually two topics. The ceramic ring. What's the deal with the ceramic ring and how is it handled? The second topic, welding stud on stud. Let's start with the ceramic ring. We've all seen this before. The ceramic ring. Of course, there's a specific ceramic ring for every stud. When you order the studs, the ceramic ring that matches the stud is always included. It's listed separately on our order form, but it's always delivered with the studs. And you should only use the ceramic ring that matches the stud. Of course, there are other manufacturers as well. Studs are subject to certain tolerances. One manufacturer tends to produce studs at the upper end of the thickness tolerance, while another aims for the lower end. But the ceramic ring always has to fit the matching stud because you'll notice it has a bit of play, even at the top. That's where the ceramic ring sits. Or rather, the stud, the pressure that builds up in the arc, the gas that forms, has to escape somehow. On the one hand, it escapes at the bottom through the teeth on the ceramic ring, and on the other hand, at the top. Is it too small now? If it's too tight at the top, or if it's too loose, that can also lead to pores or welding defects in the seam. Another question that comes up a lot, what do you do if the ceramic ring gets wet? Ceramic rings must always be stored dry. If it does get wet, you can't dry it out again with simple household methods. So you can't just put it in an electrode preheating oven or your mom's oven. To dry it, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. There will always be some residual moisture left in the ceramic ring. If you weld with a damp ceramic ring, hydrogen will form. Hydrogen is not good for my weld or my seam, and it causes pores to form. The seam turns gray, the bead turns gray and brittle. That just doesn't work. So if a ceramic ring gets wet, can it be dried out again in a ceramic kiln? Very few people will have a ceramic kiln at home or at work. So what do? I'll contact KÖCO, I'll write an email, I'll call, please send it to me. Use ceramic rings. Old wet ceramic rings are disposed of. Do not redry, dispose of. The risk of welding defects is simply too high. Large. Yes, that's the second topic in this video. Bolt upon bolt. It can happen that the right length of concrete bolts isn't available. That happens from time to time. I'm supposed to weld on a 300 bolt, 300 millimeters long, but it's just not available right now. So what do I do then? Of course, after consulting with my client, I can always weld one bolt onto another bolt. I can extend the whole thing. You can see that nicely here now. But we have the head, and this head sits in the concrete. And this head, it absorbs the forces, where the steel is later attached. Everything comes from this head. Now, if we have down here another head, then that head would also absorb force. And we have too little concrete between the steel and the head, so it could tear out. And if you ever have to weld one bolt onto another, that's why you use a felt ring. Before I weld the first bolt onto the plate, I put a felt ring on here. I weld it on with the felt ring and then put the second bolt on top. Of course, if this is going to be embedded in concrete, the felt ring has to end up sitting under this head. And this felt ring then dampens the connection between the concrete and the lower head so that the forces are only absorbed by the upper head. You have to imagine this as being cone-shaped, this pull-out angle from the concrete. So that the anchor is only held at the top, you put one on the bottom. Before welding, put a felt ring on. That's all about welding, bolt-on bolt, and ceramic ring. And of course, if you have any questions about this, don't hesitate. www.kyrk.net. Send us an email or give us a call. We're happy to help you further with this. Thank you.